folks, and welcome to another episode of Quantumly Yours. I'm your host, Wendy Patrick, and I will just be chatting again about something random today, really, and more to do with the people that we see with Finessium in the clinic and different things that are going on. But before that, just go over all the legality stuff, and anything that we share on here is not meant to treat, diagnose, or suggest to cure. If there's any products that we ever talk about or endorse, we're always doing them and giving them to you at the advice of checking with your doctor or veterinarian or healthcare practitioner before starting on a different protocol of anything. Everything is pretty much my opinion, unless it's something that I can actually give you some citations afterwards and things like that. But we tend to just talk quite organically on Finessium. And on our Quantumly Yours podcast, we just like to share different experiences and little things that we may be able to talk to you about that might actually help you in your health journey. Not only do we deal with animals, we also deal with people. Hence the name above the door at the store at the minute is for pets and their people. Pets always come first because there are lots and lots of options out there for people, and people are difficult to deal with. And today I'm going to go into a little bit more about that. I've noticed recently, more and more commonly when people come to me, it's because they've been sussing us out for a while. They've been seeing what's happening. They've been seeing what experiences maybe their friends have had, or indeed their animals. We have lots of results all the time with animals, which is one of the reasons I like focusing on them more. Because they don't come with a whole lot of baggage. They don't care if the dog across the road doesn't like them. I mean, that's completely irrelevant. And it should be to us as well. Not that the dog across the road doesn't like us, but that the person might not. So what? I think a lot of people are coming with the thought of being ready to start to heal. And a lot of people are coming with the thought that I can give them something that's going to make them better, but that's not exactly how I work. As a root cause practitioner, and I hold certificates in education and experience in a plethora of modalities, and that's always growing. I don't know everything there is to know, and I will never ever claim to do that. I'm basically run out and expired at that point if I think there's nothing left to stay around and learn. But anyway, I digress, as usual. When people come in for help, a lot of people are used to going somewhere where they'll get a certain medicine or a tincture or a salve or a lesson or a word or a scripture verse even, which will go away and make them feel better. But that's not getting to the bottom of it. That's still a band-aid to some degree. The thing is, we are all divine beings. I don't care what you believe. You don't have to believe anything. But if you think that your world is completely dependent upon what everybody else is doing, then you are also just doing. You're not being a human being. I think that's Eckhart Tolle. Anyway, whenever we look to others for permission, for confirmation, for gratitude, for appreciation, we almost give a little bit more of ourselves away. And I'm seeing that more and more with myself. I've always been trying, well, I'm not as much now because I've been learning things, but I see a lot of this mirrored back even through my clients, because the help and therapy, or whatever it is you want to actually call it, or the chats that we have in our sessions, they're not just for your benefit. I continually learn from the experiences I have with people, from the experiences I can share with people to help them in their journeys too. So it's always very interesting when a few things happen all at the same time and very, very, very recurrent. So that's kind of why I'm doing this little chat today, because recently there's been too many of my people in the clinic and we've all been talking about the same thing. And it's actually to do with healing the inner child and looking at all of the different hang-ups or hiccups or second guessing ourselves, or low self-confidence, low self-esteem, low self-worth even, and just kind of regressing the pattern to see where that is coming from. Because certainly you can take some medication to numb that, and it doesn't help. It doesn't make it go away. It's still there when the medication wears off, or whenever it becomes not useful anymore and people have to increase different dosages of different things. Still not fixing the root issue. Getting to the root issue is tough. I'm not going to dress this up and put flowers and bows and there's no sparkles around it. It really isn't. It's tough, really tough. And some people, and I understand why people end up as addicts, because they can numb that pain. They can continually stay away from it. They hide from it. They never address it. But a lot of times it's not through an actual conscious choice. I feel it's more where this is a coping mechanism and we just don't know what else to do. We just don't know where else to go. We just don't know who else to ask. And the last person you ever think of asking is yourself. And it all starts there. Certainly there are lots of people out there that can help in various ways. But unless you find that one that really resonates with you, you probably still are going to have issues trying to get through your issues. And maybe this isn't our usual joyful, happy, shiny podcast, but these are hard truths. A lot of people are going through this. And I find this poignant to bring up now because of what we've seen happening in the world over the last couple of years and the amount of mental illness that has gone through the charts. People are being pulled and pushed so many different ways at the minute. Suicides are up like 600%. It's absolutely shocking. So the tiny little snippet that I can offer to humanity to try to help, then I'll do that. So don't turn a blind eye, please. If you're in a good place and you see someone who isn't, reach out. Because as we talk about here in our quantum field, or energy being all connected, we are all connected. So the more that you stay in your little clique and you say, oh, well, I don't like them, they're staying in theirs, then the more division you keep, and the more you keep these divisions growing. So you're actually part of the problem. We all can be. But to unify and come together for the greater good sounds very corny, but it's true. Because whenever we're all on the same path, on the same wavelength, same frequency, same vibe, we all do better. And a lot of people still don't get that. And I feel so bad for them because they can't see past their own hurdles. They can't see something good in someone else because they're so miserable in their own skin. And that's a hard point to put across there, perhaps, but it is the truth. And a lot of people are so much better at playing victim and blaming everyone else for their shortcomings than having to deal with the fact that they know what's causing their own shortcomings. A lot of this goes back to that inner child. And a lot of people need to learn how to be nicer to themselves. I'm not asking you to go out there and be nice to every single person you meet today, because you might have a throbbing headache, never mind anything else. So I want you to just be nice to you today and tomorrow and the next day. And the more you can take some self-care, the more you'll be able to actually do better care for others. Now, the more that you hate on other people, all you're doing is basically killing yourself slowly. Now, that's a hard one to see. But the more that you feed on that negativity, the more that you get your kicks out of making someone feel bad. The more you get your kicks or think your ego is plumped up because they went off and they feel like they're completely useless now. You're a bully. Bullies are insecure beeps. It's just kids listening. But be very careful, because you need to be able to look in that mirror every morning and actually like the reflection. That's hard because you don't always like the whole picture. So let's break it down. Even with me doing these podcasts, as I'm recording this, I'm watching myself talk to me while I'm talking to you. And I have to like this look, otherwise I can't sit here and ramble on for 10, 20, 30 minutes or more. And that's been a rough hurdle personally, because I was riddled with acne as a child or teenager. Horrible spotty face. I still hear the ones from school that would pick on me, call me names, make fun of me, think that I was dirty, I didn't clean, or I was greasy, which wasn't the case at all. And I forgive them, that's fine, because you can sometimes look back at those people and see what they're doing in their lives now and seeing what you're doing in yours. And you can go, oh, that's awful sad what happened to that wee boy. I'm just being facetious. But whenever you can turn around and you still like who you're looking at in the mirror, or learn to like that person that you are in the mirror, because now that you're the adult, you're also the one looking back at that child and going, it's okay. You don't have to listen to that. Take that child that is still hurting inside and give them a hug. Just give them a hug. Just turn around, look in the mirror, look in your rearview mirror if you're driving, and say, it's okay. I'm not asking you to turn around and look in the mirror and go, I love you, because that takes some time. If you're just starting out on this, if you're there and you can look in the mirror and go, I love you, you're awesome. You're a fantastic person. You are a divine being. You are stepping in your purpose. You are walking your way. Well done. Well done. And how magically empowering it is to be able to do that with a smile on your face. But it can take many, many days, weeks, months, even years of trying to do that and breaking down in tears. But that's okay. You're allowed. And I want you to give yourself the permission to do that, because that is enough. That is enough. That's all you need to do. And I don't care if you look in that mirror and you don't like what you see today. Maybe your hair is just hanging the right way. Maybe your eyes have that sparkle. Maybe that zit finally disappeared. Find a reason to like something. Even if it's what you're wearing, even if it's your earrings or a necklace or your glasses or a thing in your hair, whatever. Find something to like. Do it again. Do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again until it gets easier to do it. Then you can actually be critically looking at yourself, but in a gentler way, if that makes sense. So you can go and go, oh my goodness, look at you this morning. Did you not get enough sleep? Oh, well, this will fade in a wee bit. And if I just work that out, put a wee bit more makeup on there, or off a shave or whatever, for the men, obviously. Or maybe the ladies. But just give yourself some grace, some compassion. Give that back to you. If you've been one of those people who've been giving it out left, right, and center, like it was a whole ton of cash that you don't need, dollar bills. Here's all my love to you. Here's all my gratitude to you. Here's all my time to you. Here's everything I can knit or own or sew or buy or use or make. Here it is. You can have it. It's time for you to keep that. It's time for you to take that back. And it's time for you to build that up so that you're that big person. You have so much, that you have so much abundance. It's easy to give a little bit off because you're not expecting anything to be returned for that, because you're already full. Watch that bit again and listen to that bit again. You can't pour from an empty cup. And to quote beautiful woman who was one of our podcast guests, and likewise last couple of years ago, Nikita Thigpen, selfish is not a dirty word. It is okay to be selfish. We've been brought up believing that that is the most horrible thing you can possibly do. And what happens? We have Millions of people walking around with depression, anxiety, panic attacks, fear of the unknown, feeling worthless, feeling useless, because they've never been allowed or allowed themselves to stop for 5 minutes to give themselves something back. It's time to give back to ourselves. Fill that cup up, folks. You won't be sorry. Take little bits at a time. Even if it's just a glimpse in the mirror, even if you don't look at it again for 3 days. I have clients who haven't looked in a mirror for weeks. That's okay. You don't have to do it. Rome wasn't built in a day. Take little bits at a time. Take a little bite off. It's like that lovely big piece of cake or pudding or whatever it is that you absolutely love, and you savor it by just taking little bits, a little bit at a time. See yourself as that beautiful big thing that you love now. And just start to appreciate you a little bit at a time. The more you can encourage yourself rather than being critical, the more you can increase your positivity, the more you can increase your vibration, the more you can increase your confidence, the more you can uplift yourself. And it's all about that. It's all about that. You can't love someone else unless you can love yourself. You need to learn how to do that first. Because no drug, no person, no game, no car, no house, no travel, no amount of money is ever going to make you feel better. Maybe short term, but at the end of the day, you need to love you first. That rolls over into toxic relationships. So if there's someone who is always speaking down on you, always making you feel worthless, useless, no good, not good enough, not smart enough, not pretty enough, not clever enough, not rich enough, you know what you need to do with them? Close the door with them on the other side of it. However you need to do that, there are lots and lots of ways to do that. Lots of people to help you do that as well, in case you are in, God forbid, an abusive relationship. But there are places. It is hard. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but it can be done. It most definitely can be done. And you deserve it. You deserve greatness. You deserve good. You deserve to love yourself. You have to live with yourself 24/7. And trust me, I know sometimes that wasn't easy. I didn't want to be here. I've gone through the depression. I've gone through that bit. Thank God I'm on the other side of it. And now I can actually talk about it without breaking down in tears and help others to get there too. Because I know you're all worth it. Because if I am, so are you. That's about it, folks. I'm going to leave that short and sweet today. You can digest on that. You can surmise on that. And know as well that, yes, this is my business too. I have the clinic, but I can do remote appointments with you wherever you are in the world. I've put this out there before, and I will always put this out there again, that if you are suffering, if you are having issues, having problems, and you need help pointed in the right direction, looking into whether it's therapy, whether it's different, well, there's so many different types of therapy. There's so many things that can be useful, but it's finding something that will work for you. So whether it's talking with someone, whether it's listening to podcasts, whether it's going on and Googling self-help gurus. Sometimes that's a whole other thing I think I've covered before. It's difficult to see how to think positively when they're standing up there in bright lights in a fancy suit, not worrying where the next meal is coming from. It's difficult to see how that's relevant whenever you don't know how to pay your electric bill. But realize that you are enough. You will get through this. And there are people, you are worthy to ask for help. You are enough and you are allowed. You're not the one that has to sit there giving help to everyone else. You're not the one that everybody calls when they need to sign off on something. You're not the one that everybody calls whenever they need to do this, that, or the other thing, or to get them from A to B, or whatever it is. You are enough. You can turn around and ask them. Now, this is one way to find out your friends as well. And I know I've said this before. If they're not ready to turn around and actually help you in return, they really need to relook up the definition of friendship. Maybe they've changed the definition of that as well. Who knows? They've done a lot of that recently. But you are enough. Know that. Own that. and go get this. If you need to get in touch, you can reach me through finessiumhealth.com. You know our podcast is Quantumly Yours. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. YouTube is our Dogs of Pride channel. You'll find all the podcasts on there. And you'll also get links through the websites and even through Google. Facebook and Instagram, you'll find us in Finessium. You'll find us as Dogs of Pride. You'll also find at the minute for Pets and Their People. We keep trying to avoid all those people that want to actually suspend our advertising accounts because they think we're selling animals when we sell a cushion cover with a dog on it. But yeah, that's a whole other topic for another day. You're brilliant. You are. And you know what? If you're still listening half an hour in, then you need more than a pat on the back. You need a big hug from me. So a big virtual hug to all of you, because you've actually listened to the end of this woman rambling again. Well done, you. Now, if you're one who is so wonderful and so awesome and you've already got through this, consider putting out an olive branch. Consider how you can help others to get there as well, because we all need help right now. And there's going to be a lot more people needing an awful lot more help as more and more and more things come into the light. So please be aware, fill yourself up, be ready to help others, and make sure you take that time, that you learn to be consciously selfish, knowing that it's a good thing, so that you can regenerate, rejuvenate, refresh, rebuild, and get ready. Because there's a lot of people that need you, and I need you too. So love to you all, everyone. Thanks again, as I say, for listening. If you're watching this too, all the best, and we will see you next time on Quantumly Yours. Bye.